He was 15 years old, standing on a sidewalk in Athens, holding out sunglasses and watches to strangers who wouldn't even look at him. He needed to sell enough that day so his family could eat that night. This is not a story that starts with a birth certificate and a hometown. This is a story that starts with a boy who did not officially exist. Giannis Antetokounmpo was born in Athens, Greece, to Nigerian immigrant parents, but Greece did not recognize him as a citizen. For years, he lived without papers, without status. In the country where he was born, he wasn't Greek enough for Greece. He had never even lived in Nigeria. He belonged to both. And for years, to neither. Imagine belonging nowhere. Living in the place you called home while the law insisted you did not officially exist. His parents, Charles and Veronica, had come from Lagos, searching for a better life. What they found instead was a cramped apartment in Sepolia, a working-class neighborhood, and a daily fight just to survive. Giannis and his brothers sold goods on the street. Sunglasses, watches, DVDs, whatever could bring in a few euros. If they didn't sell, the family didn't eat. That was the arithmetic of his childhood. And yet, in the middle of all of that, there was a basketball. His older brother, Thanasis, brought him to a local gym, home of a small club called Philathleticos. Giannis was tall, painfully thin, and had barely played organized basketball in his life. But the coaches noticed something. Not polished skill. Not yet. They noticed how he moved, how far his arms reached, how quickly those impossibly long legs covered the court. He trained on an empty stomach more nights than anyone knew. He walked for kilometers because there was no money for the bus. Sometimes he and his brother shared a single pair of basketball shoes, taking turns depending on who had practice. Think about that for a moment. A teenager, undocumented in the only country he had ever known, carrying his family's survival and his own impossible dream at exactly the same time. By 17, NBA scouts had started whispering his name. A gangly kid from Greece almost nobody in America had heard of. Some thought he was too raw, others thought he was too skinny. Many believed he wasn't ready. Then came the 2013 NBA draft. The Milwaukee Bucks selected Giannis Antetokounmpo with the 15th overall pick. For most players, draft night is the reward. For Giannis, it was something even bigger. For the first time in his life, someone believed his future was worth investing in. He flew to the United States barely speaking English. Everything was different. The language, the culture, the game. And while he chased his dream across an ocean, he still worried every day about the family he had left behind. His first NBA seasons were difficult. He was skinny. He got pushed around by stronger players. Analysts questioned whether he'd ever become more than an athletic project. He kept working. While many young players celebrated simply making it to the NBA, Giannis treated the league like the starting line, not the finish line. Every summer became a mission. Every weakness became tomorrow's strength. Every criticism became another reason to stay in the gym long after everyone else had gone home. He added muscle, then balance, then footwork, then a tighter handle, a stronger postgame, a more reliable jumper. Season after season, the improvements became impossible to ignore. The body got stronger, the game became sharper. The confidence grew. What people called talent was often just thousands of invisible hours that nobody else was willing to put in. He wasn't trying to prove his doubters wrong anymore. He was trying to become the best version of himself. When he received his very first NBA paycheck, he wired almost all of it back to his parents in Greece. He forgot to leave himself enough money for a taxi to the arena. So he started running. Fans recognized the young rookie sprinting through the streets of Milwaukee and gave him a ride to the game. That was Giannis. Family first. Always. Year after year, the skinny teenager from Sepolia transformed into something basketball had never quite seen before. The world gave him a nickname, the Greek Freak. Not because he came from greatness, because he built it. Then, in June of 2021, everything he had worked for came together. The Milwaukee Bucks reached the NBA Finals. In Game 6, with a championship on the line, Giannis delivered one of the greatest performances basketball has ever witnessed. 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, 17 of 19 free throws, after years of hearing that he couldn't make them when they mattered most. The Bucks won the NBA championship. Giannis fell to the floor and cried. Not because the journey was over, because every impossible day had finally been worth it. He was named Finals MVP. The boy who once sold sunglasses so his family could eat had become an NBA champion. 2 years earlier, after a painful playoff elimination, a reporter asked him whether the season had been a failure. The question assumed that anything short of a championship meant everything had been wasted. Giannis saw life differently. His answer spread around the world. "There is no failure in sports," he said. "There are good days, bad days. Some days you win, some days you lose, some days you learn." Millions of people shared those words, not because they came from an MVP, but because they came from someone who had spent his entire life getting back up after disappointment. A boy who had been rejected by a country, a teenager who sold sunglasses to survive, a rookie who was told he wasn't ready. Every setback had become another lesson. That wasn't just an answer to a reporter. It was the philosophy that had carried him from the streets of Athens to the very top of basketball. Today, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a two-time NBA Most Valuable Player, an NBA champion, a Finals MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, one of the greatest players of his generation. His brothers Thanasis and Kostas also reached the NBA. The family that once struggled to buy food had climbed all the way to the highest level of basketball together. But ask the people who know him best, and they'll tell you something more important. Success never changed him. He still trains as if nothing is guaranteed. He still approaches every season with the same hunger he had on the sidewalks of Sepolia. Because for Giannis, it was never really about the sunglasses, or the watches, or even the championship trophy. It was always about taking the next step. The truth is, most of us will never sell goods on a street corner to keep our families fed. Most of us will never share a single pair of basketball shoes. Most of us will never carry the weight of an entire family before we become adults. But every one of us knows what it feels like to be underestimated. Every one of us knows what it means to dream of a life that seems impossible. Giannis Antetokounmpo did not wait for the world to make room for him. He built the room himself, one step, one sunrise, one impossible day at a time, and he is still building.